The fashion industry has always been known to introduce the latest innovations that cycle through other industries such as interior design and art. However, many designs have been passed from one designer or company to another company and sold at the same time in the market. These creations are what many refer to as knockoffs. As stated by Kenneth Port, the director of the Intellectual Property Institute, as well as a professor of law at William Mitchell College, knockoff goods are goods manufactured with the intent to be similar to a legitimate trademark holder's goods, but made in a way that could not create a likelihood of confusion. Many of these consumers who are purchasing such knockoffs clearly know they aren't purchasing the original design, but still want to have the latest trends. Therefore, those consumers purchase the next closest thing because they generally can't afford to purchase the original designer good. Overall, the CFDA should change their philosophy on intellectual property laws in order to encourage a market with a plethora of knockoffs, because knockoffs stimulate the economy by allowing consumers in different price points to purchase the latest trends, encourage innovation, and because designers won't gain any profit if knockoffs were to leave the market. It is in the best interest of the economy as well as the designers who are part of the Council of Fashion Designers of America to not only allow but encourage knockoffs in the industry. In some cases, the designers who create the original designs aren't even acknowledged as the true designer of the work before their work is knocked off. Indeed, many designers believe that if they were allowed to file claims against those copying their work, that the problem would be solved. However, according to Alexis Stevens of the Pace Law Review, which is devoted to the study of scholarly materials of professional legal interest, in order for these designers to claim that their work is the original design, they would need to file a claim, and the designer, or in the case of the court of law, the plaintiff, must prove the design is protected, the design of the defendant's article has been copied without the design owner's consent from the protected design, and that the facts and circumstances indicate that the defendant saw or otherwise had knowledge of the protected design. Although the CFDA fully supports Senator Charles Schumer's bill, Innovative Design Protection and Piracy Prevention Act, this protection, which only lasts 3 years, according to Stevens, is not determined by the presence or absence of a particular color or colors or of a pictorial or graphic work imprinted on fabric. Overall, it seems that although there are many logical reasons that the CFDA should support the bill and their beliefs relating to intellectual property rights, there are many reasons that knockoffs foster a positive economy and allow consumers of all income levels to purchase the most recent designs. As learned by many Colorado State University fashion classes, consumers are the driving force of the retail industry. All choices that a company makes should be centered around the wants and needs of consumers because they are the ones providing the payments that keep such companies in business. Consumers are the ones who determine whether a company will thrive or die. They are the ones who stimulate the economy. Kenneth Port, a professor of law at William Mitchell College of Law, which specializes in copyright and trademark law, refers to knockoffs as well as counterfeits as imitative commodities. Furthermore, he states that there are many positive elements to imitative commodities. Some claim it is actually socially optimal to have some imitative commodities. Imitative commodities operate as free advertising for the legitimate good maker. Imitative commodities improve the goodwill of a legitimate good maker. The sheer existence of imitative commodities allows legitimate high-end makers to sustain otherwise unsustainable prices for their luxury status goods. This statement made by Port reflects those opinions of the thousands of consumers who purchase imitative commodities each year. Furthermore, just like Port states, knockoffs truly are free advertising for those designers who design the original product. Additionally, those consumers purchasing such knockoffs generally fully know they are buying a knockoff of a luxury good. This is the reason they want the good in the first place. A high-end designer designs a product that many low-end designers want to mimic, thus making it popular and encouraging the consumption of these products. This acts as free advertising for the high-end designers because through purchase, consumers are acknowledging the original design, but unfortunately can't afford it. Therefore, these consumers resort to the knockoff just to keep up with the newest trends. Alexis Stevens, as well as Cal Rostiala and Christopher Sprigman, agree with Kenneth Port on the notion that knockoffs actually stimulate the economy. Stevens believes that the fashion industry thrives on copying and that fashion trends are set only when fellow designers reinterpret designs and produce them during a similar season. Additionally, in their book, The Knockoff Economy, How Imitation Sparks Innovation, Cal Rostiala, a professor of law at UCLA, and Christopher Sprigman, who received his JD from the University of Chicago, state that knockoffs help the economy as a whole, and that copying helps fuel consumption in the fashion industry. The industry thrives in part based on freedom to copy. Stevens, Port, Sprigman, and Rostiala all determined that knockoffs truly do encourage a prosperous economy. Although many designers feel that they are the ones who will be losing profits because their designs aren't the ones selling, it needs to be mentioned that those people who are purchasing the knockoffs are doing so because the original designs are more than likely out of their price range. It also needs to be noted that if knockoffs were to be eliminated, the fashion industry as a whole would be hurt because instead of consumers trying to purchase the latest trends, they would just fall back on staple items, not fashion items, due to a lack of funds. Not only do knockoffs stimulate the economy, but they encourage innovation through the oversaturation of certain trends in the fashion industry. In their book, which was published by Oxford University Press, which furthers the University of Oxford's objective of excellence in research, scholarship, and education, The Knockoff Economy, How Imitation Sparks Innovation, Cal Rostiala and Christopher Sprigman reveal that there is a relationship between imitation and innovation. The authors state that in some creative fields, copying is monitored through informal industry norms that are enforced by private sanctions, but in others, the freedom to copy actually promotes creativity. And in the case of the fashion industry, this statement is clearly reflected in the opinion that the freedom to copy truly does promote creativity by allowing designers to, in a sense, collaborate with one another using similar ideas. Without the knockoffs flooding the industry and causing a saturation of similar goods, there would be no need to design new goods. Thus, new trends and designs would not be needed in the market. Knockoffs influence creativity within the industry and allows for older designs to constantly inspire new designs, thus influencing consumers to purchase the latest trends and help to stimulate the economy. Furthermore, in an online interview with Christopher Sprigman, he discusses this very book that he co-wrote with Cal Rostiala. During this interview, Sprigman states that copying helps the fashion industry set trends and that we don't know a trend until there is lots of copies. Copying helps spread the trend. In the United States, as the saying goes, copying is a form of flattery. Unfortunately, the designers who are being copied don't see it this way. However, according to Alexis Stevens, copying forces innovation because saturation of old designs creates the demand for something new. Designers are pushed to be innovative and come up with a completely new idea that the market hasn't seen before. This cycle allows for new, innovative products to enter the industry and generate new incomes for the industry as a whole. Lastly, many designers feel that they are the ones who are losing profit when their designs are copied by smaller, less noticed firms. However, designers won't gain any profit if knockoffs were to leave the market. In fact, knockoffs have been going on since the beginning of the fashion industry in general. If designers were to fight for their property rights and legislation was to pass, no one is to know whether or not these designers would gain any substantial profit in doing so. Alexis Stevens points out that past attempts for higher design protection has not led to the conclusion it was supposed to, and thus the new bill, IDPPPA, is not needed in the United States. Indeed, it is true that there is no such thing as a completely new idea in the fashion industry because designers gain inspiration from past designers and older designs. This can be seen with the current trend of leggings that were introduced in the late 70s, early 80s, and then continued into the 90s. This example is just one of many that show how designers turn to the past to create new inspiration and trends for the current times. However, if these current designers want stricter copying laws, this would mean that any designer currently using inspiration from the past is contradicting their philosophy in supporting the Innovative Design Protection and Piracy Prevention Act. An academic journal written by Susanna Mansu, published in the Texas Intellectual Property Law Journal, a leading intellectual property law journal striving to be the forum of choice for intellectual property law practitioners, professors, and students around the globe, states that fashion designers have not enjoyed any more success than earlier designers in securing legal protection for their designs. Indeed, many fashion designers have lobbied for years to try and secure higher protection laws for their designs when it comes to copying. There must be a reason that such laws have failed to pass. One can't truly prove that one design is a knockoff and not a new design adapted from inspiration. Although designers may feel differently and may think that this law would greatly enhance their profits, they need to realize that price is always the biggest contributor when it comes to consumers purchasing goods that aren't necessarily a necessity in their lives. Consumers will generally purchase what they need before they purchase what they want. This notion relates to the concept that those consumers purchasing a pair of shoes for $22, a knockoff of a designer brand that normally costs $1,300, will not think to even purchase the original design when it is just as much as their house payment. Designers, no matter how much they feel their companies will benefit from sterner property laws, will never get those consumers purchasing the knockoffs to purchase their items due to the unrealistic price range designer brands are in. When it comes to the fashion industry, knockoffs are a vital part of the cycle that without, many consumers wouldn't be able to purchase the newest and latest trends because of their income. Knockoffs give consumers the ability to purchase items they want by choice due to the saturation of the plethora of items. This choice allows consumers to spend their various amounts of incomes, which then stimulates the economy and allows the nation to grow as a whole. If designers were to have their wish of stricter property laws, there would be no need to have the turnaround time that the fashion industry is known for, because no new products would be introduced into the industry. Knockoffs lead to new innovations and concepts of design which allow consumers to have a wide variety of options when it comes to their choice of attire. Those companies choosing to create such knockoffs will not be stealing any profit away from the original designers due to the fact that knockoffs and the original are in two very different price ranges. Overall, knockoffs encourage innovation in the industry which provide consumers with the need to purchase the latest trends, leading to a boost in the economy. Knockoffs are not only good for the economy, but for consumers nationwide.